Are you looking for your weight loss solution? Well, you know it's not going to be solved through fat burners, cleanses, or fad diets. You're tired of spinning your wheels. And recently, you have learned a lot of buzz about these weight loss drugs that are the magical solution. Well, I will get into how these weight loss drugs can be the solution you need on your weight loss journey to lose the weight and keep it off. We will go into uncovering what this can do for yourself. So be sure to like and subscribe. Full disclaimer, I am not a physician. I cannot prescribe any medications. However, in my 10 years of coaching, I've helped hundreds of clients lose weight on their journey and make their ultimate transformation. So I am a weight loss expert and I know what it takes to reach your fitness goals. There has been a lot of buzz within these last few years about these weight loss drugs. You may have heard the news from what you watch through the media or through your celebrities that have proclaimed that these have helped them lose their weight, and of course through the social media buzz topics that have been floating around. The thing about when it comes to these weight loss drugs, there's a lot of different opinions. I'm going to share what I have learned about these and how they can help you out with and what you're doing. So let's start off with first, I'm going to uncover the most popular weight loss drugs. Now there's many weight loss drugs that would take a lot of time here within this video, but I'm going to respect your time and focus on the three most popular ones. And the two fall under the same drug name, but has a different classification by the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, and they're the ones who govern prescription drugs. And that is Ozempic and Wegovy. Now they fall under the same drug name, which is semaglutide. So the difference of these drugs are based off the classification through the FDA. Wegovy is able to be prescribed for people who have obesity, and Ozempic is for type 2 diabetes. So there is a different classification under these drugs, but they have the same properties as being the same drug name, just different brand. So really no difference there, just how the FDA classifies it based off of what the drugs were able to go through the process to be on the market. So what does it do to help you lose weight? Well, there's two properties there that help you out there in solving your weight loss issue. For one, reducing your hunger and your appetite. We know how important that is when you're losing weight, when you know you got to diet and you got to exercise, but you know at the same time it's a battle. So helping you in that way to reduce your appetite and hunger goes a long way. And secondly, slowing the emptying of your stomach, so basically stay fuller longer within that process. Now it inhibits the receptor of a glucagon, which is a hormone, and that pretty much is put in place within your body to increase your blood sugar. So we understand how with obesity and having type 2 diabetes, that's an issue we have to face with the blood sugar. So what these allow you to do is fight against that. And the results have came back heavily to show that these drugs can be a solution for you. You can lose up to 15% of your body mass. So the average is up to that high of 15%, some even higher than that. That's a huge number. Now think about it, if you're 300 pounds and you lose 15% of your body mass, that's 45 pounds. That is an amazing result to get from having these drugs. And now let's address the elephant in the room, is really the stigma behind obesity. Now, over the years, I would say through education, we are becoming more aware and understanding that obesity is really a disease and not just because someone is lazy. Now, there's battles you're fighting on your journey that you should not feel ashamed about. It's environment and genetics. You live in an environment where there's too much food. Food is designed to taste really good. So you're fighting a battle where you're meant to eat more. And through genetics, you may have a likely more chance to overeat because your appetite, your hunger, it's how you store your body fat. So there's no shame in having these weight loss drugs to help you out. Now, as I mentioned, they're under the same drug as being semaglutide, but different names with different brands, right? You got Wegovy and you got Ozempic. So the thing is, if you're looking to get this prescribed to you, and as I stated, of course, you'd have to go to your doctor, is it just different classifications. So if you have type 2 diabetes, Ozempic, you're able to get prescribed. If you don't have type 2 diabetes, but you are obese, you do have to follow within your BMI being over 30, or if you have a BMI at 27 but have some health risk conditions, you can be approved for it. So these will definitely help you out. Now, as I stated, it is a solution for you, but you still have to do the other things. But I believe is if I can give myself as many resources as possible, you're gonna be more likely to succeed. So when my clients are working with me, I'm giving all the resources that they have at their disposal for their diet, for their fitness, everything I'm putting them in the hands-on program to help them out. And that's why they're successful, because I'm giving them all the resources that they can have. I've had some clients have other coaches at the same time, where they have a mindset coach, a sleep coach, and they're doing all these different things at once. They're just loading up on the resources, and they're more likely to see even from just my help alone. So never go into a battle with not having enough resources. You want to give yourself more. So these things will definitely help based off of what we have seen through studies and through what has happened for patients. And a lot of doctors that are obesity specialists can back this up with what they see in their patients that it has worked and has worked very well. So that data alone is very promising, is very good, and don't feel like ashamed about it. It's okay. Now let's talk about the next one, which is actually under a different drug name, and probably seen this on commercial, heard other people talking about as well, is Mounjaro. Now Mounjaro is a different drug than the Ozempic and Wegovy. As we talked about it, those are under the drug name semaglutide. Now Mounjaro is under the drug name tirzepatide, which is different than semaglutide, and it actually has shown to even increase the amount of mass loss. And it's because of, as I mentioned before, as how that is binds to the one receptor, which, like I said, is the hormone glucagon, which its job is to do is increase your blood sugar. With Mounjaro, it is a double receptor. So you're having more assistance of what it's doing within your body. So it is showing up to lose even more than 20% of body mass, some as high as 21 to 25%. So if we go back to that number of the 300, how we talked about 15%, I mean, you're talking about 25, that's 75 pounds there. So that's a big difference. Now, just like Ozempic for Mounjaro, as of now, you can only be prescribed it if you have type 2 diabetes. Now, they are working on getting that prescribed to also people that have obesity. So be sure to be on the lookout on that once that is developed, to allowing people with obesity to have it. So it sounds really good, right? It sounds very amazing. Now let's talk about the flip side. For one, these drugs are very expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars. So I know with me within coaching, it costs a price to work with me. Now, just on a drug alone with nothing else, you're paying thousands of dollars. So it's very expensive. Secondly, just how insurance works, it can be a difficult battle of getting your insurance to cover it. And still, even if they help you out, you're still going to be paying a good amount on the prescriptions. So when you're battling how expensive it is, then you have to go through the battle with insurance to make sure it's covered. it's kind of an uphill battle. And really, as well, is as anything with the drugs, you pretty much have to be reliant on it. Once you're not taking the drugs, you're very likely to have a high chance of regaining the weight. Why? Because now you don't have it working to you to reduce your hunger, your appetite, slowing down the emptying of your stomach, which, as we talked about, keeps you fuller longer. So then you kind of have to rely back on what you've done. Now, as we know what fad diets do, is as long as you're doing the fad diet and you're doing 100%, you're going to lose the weight. But once you stop, more than 90% of people within 2 years regain more weight than they originally lost. So we know that is a problem. So how expensive it is, insurance, and really having to rely on that, it can be an issue on that side of it as well. And that's to not discourage you to still go that route, but just know there are some other things that you have to consider as well. I think from what I've seen and what I've heard from other obesity specialists that have had patients use these drugs is that you still need to work on, of course, developing the habits, right? You still need to work on developing the habits because it can help aid you, as we talked about, if your goal is to lose 50 to 100 pounds, if it can get you to the finish line within what you've done with your diet and your exercise and you're using these drugs. Now, if you set up the right habits that help you understand how to eat in moderation, being an intuitive eater of understanding when you're hungry, when you're not hungry, and having a better relationship with food. And then on the flip side with what we know with exercise, if you can just be consistent of getting, at least 30 minutes of physical activity at least 5 times a week, which is less than 2% of your time each week. And you're doing these different things with your other habits with sleep, hydration, your mental health, then you're going to be really set up to be successful even if you stop taking these drugs. But you definitely have to have some habits put into place. So based on what I've seen, I think these are something that can be that cure that you need to your weight loss and help you going forward on your weight loss journey and ultimately your fit journey. However, you do need to consider the other part of it if you are going to go that route within what we talked about, the expenses, going through the insurance, once you stop taking the drugs, right? We know that is something that you're going to have to keep in mind. So let's recap here. We talked about really 3 drugs that are the most popular weight loss drugs in the market right now that many people are using. And they're really under 2 different drug names, as we talked about how Wegovy is prescribed for obesity and Ozempic is prescribed for type 2 diabetes, but it's under the same drug name of the semaglutide. And then we talked about Mounjaro as well, which is under a different drug name, tirzepatide, which we understand is used for only type 2 diabetes. So, with an understanding what's going to be right for you, as I talked about, you're going to have to consult with your doctor, see what your insurance will help you out as well. Doesn't hurt to figure out if that is going to be something that works for you. I think it can definitely help you out, but that's something you have to consult with your doctor, see what's best for you, and ultimately, you have to understand how to make this a lifestyle for yourself and not focus on the short-term results. So, I would love to hear from you. Has this been something that you have considered? Have you done any of these drugs for yourself in helping yourself lose weight? Or hey, maybe if you just completely disagree that this is not going to be the right thing for you. There's definitely other doctors out there that have the opposite opinion where they feel that this is at a detriment to yourself. And I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. So definitely please comment. And be sure to like and subscribe and watch the next video.